If you love short rib, this is the video for you because we are about to taste some dishes that you have never seen before. Most importantly, we will be rating every single one of them to find out which one is best.
And of course, we will have the traditional way of having short rib, but we're starting off with something unexpected. I mean, take a look at it. It's 100% inspired by my latest trip to Japan. This is a sandwich with an unexpected twist. And here's what I mean by it. Get yourself some bread. Milk bread is best, but if you can't find it, brioche will also work. You want to cut it in thick slices. Now throw them in the freezer and heat up some oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and throw them in there. Since the oil is super hot and the bread was slightly frozen, it will get kind of crispy real quick, and that's what you want. Now after it drains a little, go ahead and cut it in triangle, and you're left with something like this. Now open up the middle and create a pocket, because now it's time for the short rib. This one is prime grade, straight from Riverbend Ranch, and it was previously aged for 21 days, which makes the short rib more tender, flavorful, and I love that it's beef raised in America. It has beautiful marbling. Now the key here was to butterfly the short rib as you saw it. Then you want to go ahead and score it. Now the reason I'm doing this is to create more surface area. We want to cook this short rib kind of quickly, like if I was grilling it as a steak. Because now we got to make a quick marinade. Into a blender, I threw in some white onions, Asian pear, some garlic, sugar, Shaoxing wine, mirin, sesame seed oil, some soy sauce, and honey. Now blend that on high and immediately pour it over the short rib. Now here's where you're going to test your patience, because you really want to leave it overnight. However, if you want to make it quick, give it at least 30 minutes. Next, you want to go ahead and caramelize some onions with some butter. This takes time and patience. The slower you go, the better it's gonna be. And of course, we need a sauce. This one is kind of simple. In a bowl, throw in some salt, black pepper, gochujaro, some mayo, and lime juice. Now go ahead and whisk it all together, and that's your sauce. Next up is what really makes this short rib very special, because most of the time you gotta cook short rib for a very long time. Not this one. We're literally grilling it as if it was a steak. You wanna get nice hot coals and try to get it a little bit charred up, and also have the thing cook all the way through. Be careful though, because since it has sugar, the marinade can burn easily. But once you're done, check it out. You should be left with something like this. Now you want to go ahead and slice the whole thing, and this alone by itself is phenomenal. You can even throw it on some rice or noodles. But check this out. Grab your fried bread sandwich, spread a little bit of the sauce, be extremely generous with the short rib, but to finish it off, add some caramelized onions right over it and some green scallions. Because this is a short rib sandwich unlike any other, as I cannot wait for you to see what's coming up next.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Guga, that is criminally good. This, you should go to jail for how good this tastes, bro.
What do you think, sir? Oh, you don't want to talk. This man just wants to eat, everybody.
It's really good. Back to the prune with short rib. That sauce is next level, Guga.
It's so good, everybody. There's so many things going on right here with the crispy bread, the creaminess of the sauce, the short rib itself is absolutely delicious. I think you just have the short rib by itself, you're happy, you know what I mean?
I'm happy right now, Guga. This thing just changed my whole mood. This is incredible tasting. As soon as you bite into it, you first feel that bread. It's crunchy exterior, but it's so fluffy at the same time on the inside of it. And then you have that beefy, delicious short rib with that sauce mixed in. This is really good.
Leo, from 1 to 10, what are you rating this one?
I'm giving this a 10.
How about you, Felix?
I have to agree, I'm giving this one a 10.
I agree, everybody. This one is crazy good. Something you should experience at least once in your lifetime. Believe me when we tell you, this one is worth you making. Make this right now, everybody. You won't regret it. This one is crazy.
Yep, that sandwich was delicious. But check this one out. I am pretty sure most people have never experienced it. This takes braised short rib to a whole different level. Let me show you. Now with the previous one, we were able to cook it with the bone. However, for this recipe, I highly recommend you taking it out. It will just be better. Trust me. Just make sure not to cut it too small. You want on nice big chunks like this. Now in a braising pan, throw in some oil and add all of your short rib. Keeping it under high heat, you want to get a nice color on them. This is key. It doesn't take long, as now we can start adding more ingredients. Throw in some ginger, garlic, green onion, onion, some bay leaves, star anise, a cinnamon stick, some Sichuan peppercorn, and now a very special ingredient, rock sugar. Now you can definitely use regular sugar, but I've tried this before, but it will be slightly different, especially with the flavor. Followed by some oyster sauce, Shaoxin wine, MSG, and we can't forget soy sauce. Now mix everything well to make sure it's fully mixed, and this is looking great already. But now we're gonna tenderize it, and to do that, add a little bit of water, let the whole thing come up to a simmer, and cover it so it can get nice and tender. In the meantime, we can work on the noodles. Get yourself some of these. You can find it in most Asian stores, but in your worst case scenario, you can buy it in Amazon. They are great noodles. To cook them, start with a little bit of oil and garlic. Let that cook up just for a little bit and add heavy cream. Right before everything comes to a simmer, throw in everything that comes together in the packaging. Now you want to mix it, and as soon as it starts heating up, throw in 1 slice of American cheese. I know it sounds weird, but trust me on this one. Now let the whole thing reduce for a little, because when you're happy with the consistency, go ahead and throw in your cooked noodles. Mix them well and toss the whole thing up. Set that down on a bowl, because by this time, check out the short rib. This is the color you're looking for, friends. Nicely golden brown, but nothing is burned. It's just a deep caramelization, which is what you want. Now before adding the short rib, add a tiny bit of chili oil right on top. Now go ahead and be generous with the short rib. To finish it off, a tiny bit of green onions goes right on top, followed by sesame seeds. Because this dish will please a lot of people. Because now let's see how this one will stack up against the sandwich.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh,
Ooh.
this is a tough video because that's so good. Oh, wow.
The crust on that short rib is next level. It's crunchy on the outside, but tender on the inside. Very nice.
The short rib has like a Chinese marinade to it. I really like it. It feels like you almost like deep fried it.
It has a little bit of a sweeter side,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And tenderness next level, and then crispiness, almost like it was deep fried, like you said.
I'm glad you talked about the sweetness of the short rib because I tried the noodle alone. It is very spicy. And the combination is killer because you have that heat and that sweetness that tones it down immediately. So you really need to have the combo. This was thoughtfully put together and it tastes good.
Amazing. We got it rated. Leo,
I'm giving it an 8 actually.
8. How about you, sir?
I'm gonna give this one a 9.
A 9. Oh, he really enjoyed this one. I'm with you. You know what I mean? This one is absolutely delicious. Normally, when you think about short rib, you only think about savoriness, but this one brings a little bit of sweetness. So I'm also giving it an 8.
Now this next one is far away from traditional, but if you love rice and beef, you're definitely gonna love this one. Now notice that these short ribs are completely boneless. That's better and you'll see why shortly. Because we gotta make a quick rub. Into a bowl, throw in some black pepper, salt, turmeric, cumin, sumac, Aleppo pepper, cinnamon, and coriander. Now mix everything together and that's the rub. You wanna go ahead and sprinkle it all over the short rib. Make sure you get plenty of seasoning as we want this thing to be really flavorful. Now I recommend using a tagine for this, but if you don't have one, a Dutch oven will work. Because first you wanna start with some bone marrow fat, and as soon as that heats up, go ahead and sear the short ribs. We wanna try to get a nice beautiful color on them. That actually takes no time at all, because as soon as you have done so, remove them and set them aside. Using the same exact pan and oil, throw in some jalapenos, followed by a generous amount of white onions. Now I know it looks like a lot, but as it cooks, it will go down tremendously. The key here is to get a nice color on them, using the same pot for everything. As soon as you get a nice beautiful color, take them out and set them aside. Now using the same exact pan, throw in some potatoes. Now season them with a generous amount of sumac, followed by some pomegranate, those beautiful short ribs that we got a nice sear on them, and to let them braise, throw in some beef stock. Now cover it and let it cook in your oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. As that's happening, we're gonna make a very special rice. Into a bowl, throw in some plain yogurt, followed by eggs, some salt, black pepper, and saffron water. Now whisk that real good and combine all of these ingredients together. Now go ahead and cook yourself some basmati rice. Then you wanna pour that mix right on top. It's going to make your rice extremely soggy and creamy. That's what you want. Make sure to mix this really well. As now, grab yourself a non-stick pan, spray it with some beef tallow, add a layer of that beautiful rice we just made, followed by those onions and jalapeno, and top the whole thing off with some more rice. Make sure to pack it down real good, as now you want to throw it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Leave it there for 30 minutes. As soon as it comes out, go ahead and bang the pan on a cutting board. That way it will come out easily. Check it out. Now you should have extremely crispy crispy edges, as now is where things get interesting. By this time, our short rib is fully cooked, and they are literally fall off the bone tender. So go ahead and set this aside, because we gotta make one last thing. Into a bowl, grab yourself some pomegranate molasses and throw that in, followed by some brown sugar and a little touch of white vinegar. Now keep it under medium heat and whisk everything together, as that takes no time at all because now we plate. So you want to go ahead and place a generous amount of that short rib right on top, followed by that beautiful hot glaze we just made. A tiny bit of pomegranate seeds go right on top, and to finish, some cilantro. Because take a look at this, friends. It's not something you see every day. However, I cannot wait to see how this one is going to stack up against the rest.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
Ooh, I was not expecting it to be sweet. I got a little sweetness on that.
the flavors on this thing is very, what I like to call exquisite.
You can still taste the beef, and it just has like little subtle notes of sweetness, a little herbalness that I actually really like.
By the way, that's pomegranate molasses.
Oh.
That's why you feel that little sweetness that coming through. If you never tried it, but you highly should.
The flavor of the short rib goes really well with the Middle Eastern spices that you use on the short rib. And then on top of it, that pomegranate molasses, I mean, adds a little bit of a sweetness to it that really brings everything together. And on top of it with a really nice rice with the crispiness on the outside, it's really good.
Okay, enough because we have to rate it. Sir, what do you think?
I'm gonna give this one a 7.
Okay, how about you?
I'm gonna give this one a 6.
Oh, whoa.
Not my favorite.
I absolutely love it. Don't listen to this guy, but listen to him. I'm giving this one a 9, everybody. I really enjoyed it.
So far, we cover a few untraditional short rib. I say it's now time for the classic. When you think braised short rib, this is what most people think about. And it's actually easier than you think. Go ahead and grab yourself some short rib. Remember one thing, if you start with good meat, you will have great results. So first, into a tray, throw in some all-purpose flour, followed by salt and black pepper. Mix that up real good and give your short rib a nice coating. Then throw in some oil into a pan and immediately start to sear them. That's the key here. You want to get some color on them and flavor right now. Keep an eye on it though because it doesn't take long. Now using the same exact pan, throw in all of these vegetables. The key here is to deglaze the pan, and since the vegetables have a lot of moisture on them, it makes that job easy. Now add some thyme, followed by salt, a tiny bit of black pepper, and stir everything around. Now go ahead and add some beef stock and let the whole thing come to a simmer. As soon as that happens, go ahead and add all of your short rib. We're gonna cook this down. Now into a separate pan, go ahead and cook some red wine. All we're trying to do here is to reduce it in half. You're looking for it to have this consistency. Now go ahead and throw that into the pan, mix it well, and let the whole thing simmer. Now this is called a cartouche. It's basically a French technique with parchment paper. Now this is great because it keeps the evaporation really low, but it allows moisture to come out, reducing the whole thing nice and slow. And it's pretty simple to do. Now before adding that over, go ahead and add a tiny bit of tomato sauce, place that right on top, and let the whole thing simmer until it's nice and tender and reduced. Because once your short rib is coming off the bone, go ahead and remove it. Now strain the remaining sauce, and you will notice that the fat will stay on the top. Now carefully place this into a pan. We want a little bit of fat, but most of it will remain on the top of the bowl, so set that aside. Now throw in some whole grain mustard, followed by red wine vinegar. Mix that real good, and into the saucepan it goes, making it a cohesive sauce. Now go ahead and boil some potatoes. Now you can definitely use a smasher for this, but if you want yours without any lump, this will just do the job faster. Now throw in some butter, mix the whole thing real good, and taste it for seasoning. If you need salt, now is the time, because to plate it, you want to create a nice bed of mashed potato, followed by that beautiful braised short rib, and you cannot forget the sauce. Make sure to be generous with it. Now finish it with a tiny bit of chives, and there you have it, the classic short rib. How will this one stack against the rest?
Let's give it a try. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, this is what you expect short rib to be, everybody. It's a classic. Wow.
That is insanely tender. And in combination with that creamy mashed potatoes, it's just such a soft, succulent, velvety bite. And I love this sauce. It has so much flavor. It's like a deep, savory gravy. That's such a perfect combination. Oh my God, that was an awesome bite.
No, the short rib with the wine reduction sauce on top, it's really good. And I mean, like Leo said, the mashed potatoes, so creamy, so velvety, they're perfect.
If you've never had short rib, everybody, and you're gonna try a recipe for the very first time, this is what you should try. It is a classic French technique, absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong. But now it's time to rate. Leo,
10. That's too good.
10!
10.
Wow! How about you, Felito?
I have to agree, this one gets a 10 from me.
A 10! Oh, wow. I mean, this one is extremely delicious, everybody. But from what we had already, it doesn't stack up against the rest. I'm giving it an 8. Before we try the next one, I want to thank today's sponsor, Home Chef. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your kitchen and thought, yeah, I'm not doing any of this tonight? Because that happens to me too, everybody. That's why I've been using Home Chef. On days that I don't feel like experimenting, Home Chef's oven-ready meals are a lifesaver. Everything comes prepped and you cook it right in the oven-safe tray. They literally give you no extra pans, no mess, no cleanup marathon after dinner. One of the oven-ready meals I tried was the beef and 3-cheese pasta. You put it in the oven, wait, and somehow it comes out saucy, flavorful, and way better than it has any right to be for how little effort it takes. And when time is really tight, they also have express meals, like this chicken provençal, which is ready in about 20 minutes. Just use one pan, everything cooks fast, and you're eating before you even think about ordering takeout. That's why Home Chef is ranked #1 in convenience and recipe ease compared to other meal kits. It's real food delivered to your door without turning your kitchen upside down. If you want easy meals with almost no cleanup, check out Home Chef. Use my code GUGA50 for 50% off. The link is in the description below. Thanks Home Chef for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to it.
Now let's forget traditional for a second, because you've never seen this one before. And if you think that's caramel on top, no, it is not. Listen to this crispiness. Exactly. You've never seen one like this. That's because no one has ever done it. Let me explain. For a nice presentation, get yourself some long bone short ribs. As you've seen previously, you want to go ahead and start getting a nice sear on them. It doesn't take long. As soon as that's done, set them aside. Now into the same pan, throw in some garlic, black pepper, toast them just for a little bit, and add a generous amount of soy sauce, followed by some bay leaf, brown sugar, some rice vinegar, and water. Now go ahead and whisk that together and immediately throw the short rib right in there. Now if you've ever heard of adobo short rib, that is exactly what I'm trying to make right here. Because a lot of times it's made with pork belly, but I think this is going to work. So after simmering the whole thing down for about an hour, check it out. This is what I have left. And as you can clearly see, it's nice and tender, and the sauce that is left behind is just magical. But we're not done yet, because check out the short rib. I let them cool down a little. Then I grab myself some of this, some rice paper. Now you want to dunk them in some water and immediately cover the short rib with it. Because we already know that the short rib is extremely tender, but now I want a crispy crust. And as you saw in the beginning of the video, this is how you achieve that. Just stick it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and everything will work just fine. In the meantime, I went ahead and made myself some garlic rice. After adding some oil, go ahead and throw in the garlic. We want them nice and golden brown. As you know, as soon as you start cooking garlic for a little bit, they lose that bitterness and they become slightly sweeter, which I love. Now go ahead and reserve them, but leave the oil behind. Throw in your one-day-old rice, start to break them up and stir-fry them, season them with some salt, soy sauce. Now mix it all together until you have a nice, beautiful color. Add back those garlic chips and a tiny bit of green onions. Now mix it all together as now we plate. Take a look at the short rib now. That is what they look like as soon as they come out of the oven. So we first start with the garlic rice, followed by that beautiful short rib. Because now I'm just wondering, how will this one stack up against the rest?
Cheers!
Cheers.
Oh, this is crazy, everybody. Wow!
It's such a unique crunch. That outer layer is insane.
And what's funny to me is like crunchy on the outside and soft and chewy and delicious on the inside with an incredible adobo flavor. Wow!
The combination of the crispiness and the tenderness of the short rib really go hand in hand together. It's delicious. I mean, on top of it with that adobo seasoning that you were talking about. And I would hope that Uncle Roger would be proud of the garlic fried rice because it's really good too.
I hope so, because on his restaurant is very, very good. But yo, this one will give a run for its money, okay, Uncle Roger? It will give a run for its money. Okay, we got to rate. You, sir?
I'm gonna give it a 7.
How about you?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
8. Wow, this one is absolutely delicious. I'm also an 8.
Now this next one might not look like much, but just wait until you see how it's actually put together. Cause check it out. You wanna go ahead and season your short ribs with some salt and pepper. And as we've previously done, go ahead and get a nice sear on them. It doesn't take long, so when that happens, set them aside. Cause now we go in with some red bell peppers followed by onions. Stir that around and mix them together. Now add some garlic, dates, ginger, some almonds, an orange peel, a cinnamon stick, some orange juice, and a tiny bit of saffron water. Now season it with some black pepper and salt, mix it all together, and let the whole thing simmer down. As soon as it cooks down a little, you want to go ahead and add the short rib right on top. Now just add some braising liquid. I'm doing so with some beef stock. Cover the whole thing, and into the oven it goes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Because once it comes out, check it out. Let's just say it's not visually very appealing, but that doesn't really matter because it's all about flavor in this thing, as we gotta shred it. And most importantly, we're gonna be using this. However, we don't want much liquid, so throw that into a bowl, followed by the short rib, mix everything together, as now we build. Get yourself some filo dough. You can find it in the frozen aisle. It's super thin, and it's actually what they use for baklava. It's also important to have a non-stick pan. Brush it with some butter and start adding the filo dough, one at a time. As soon as you have a nice base, add that filling we made previously. Now the thing here is, just like a lasagna, you gotta layer it little by little, making it nice and compact. Pressing the whole thing down is the key, as once you finish, fold in the edges, add a little bit of clarified butter, and into the oven it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And in about 20 minutes, the dough is fully cooked. You want to go ahead and flip the whole thing over a plate, but we're not done yet. Because to finish, you want to add a little bit of powdered sugar, get yourself a skewer and heat it up real hot. As then you want to caramelize and burn the sugar right on top, just like this. Now this is an extremely unique way of having short rib. The question is it better than the other dishes? Well, we're about to find out right now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh wow, there's so much flavor on this thing here. It's absolutely insane.
So tender and so juicy, it almost feels like there's a sauce, but there's no sauce.
No sauce at all. It's just so much fatness, deliciousness, goodness, and addictiveness. Wow.
The dough on the outside super crispy, but the filling though, it's so tender with the seasonings and everything as well. It really just comes together super delicious. You really can't go wrong here.
Gotta vote. Leo.
I'm giving it a 9.
Wow.
I really like this one.
How about you, Felito?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.
An 8. Oh, you know, for me, it reminds me of sweetness for whatever reason, so I'm giving it a 7, even though it's really good, but it doesn't hit the mark.
Now maybe one of the greatest way of having short rib, but it's not just barbecue. First, get your hands on a nice short rib. As you already know, you start with good things and you end up with something better. First, to season it. I always season it with salt and pepper separately than any barbecue rub. That way it allows me to control the exact amount of salt. Sometimes when you combine it with a barbecue rub, you just don't use enough or you use too much. Keeping the sauce separately is the key, because once everything is nicely seasoned, into my smoker it goes. Now get yourself some of this. It's called guajillo peppers. I like to remove the seeds, but a lot of people don't. I just like to use the skin. And usually they come dehydrated and you gotta rehydrate them some way somehow. So I went ahead and melted a generous amount of butter, threw some garlic in there, followed by a generous amount of guajillo, mixed everything together, and now let me show you where the magic happens. Because since I got a smoky flavor on my ribs already, in they go to confi. Yes, we're gonna cook this in butter, making it extremely tender, juicy, and delicious. Now there is no time for this. It is ready once it's nice and tender. And as I'm pulling this out, I can confirm it's tender. So tender that the bones not only come out, I can stick them and it feels like butter. Now you can eat it just like this or enjoy it in many different ways. Let me show you my favorite. You wanna go ahead and shred the whole thing? Because we're gonna make crispy cheese tacos with it. I first went ahead and melted some cheese, then the corn tortilla goes right on top. As soon as you start getting a nice golden brown color, add a generous amount of short rib right on top, and using that remaining butter from the confi, go ahead and put it right over. This will make it extremely juicy, but most importantly, nice and crispy. That's what you want out of a crispy cheese taco. The only thing left to do now is to plate them up, add some onions and tomatoes right on top, followed by some pico onions. Because this one might just rank higher than all others. We're about to find out right now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
I'm in love with Mexican food. The flavor coming out of this thing is so good. What do you think, sir?
I love this caramelized cheese. It's crispy, it has a nice texture, and it adds such a delicious flavor. This is like the densest, most thickest beef taco I've ever had.
Guga, when you have a taco, this is definitely the way you want to have it. Packed to the brim with meat, fall apart tender with the really nice cheese, and I mean the crispy tortilla, you really can't go wrong. It is a little greasy, but I mean when you have a taco, like, you can't really complain.
Overall, I think it's kind of simple, but you don't really need too much. This is so nice, beefy, cheesy, everything you want in a taco.
We got a rate.
I'm gonna give this one a 7.
You.
I'm gonna give it 7 as well.
Me as well. This gets a solid 7. I love it. Just make sure you make more than one because there's no way you're just eating this one. Can you guys believe this one won?
That was mind-blowingly good.
It was so good, the short rib, it was crazy.
That fried bread combined together with the short rib is next level. But now you have so many short rib recipes to try. Go get yourself some and start cooking that right away because you cannot go wrong with any of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.